NFL Week 8, and there's only 3 winning teams in the AFC. Still don't really know who's good. What team's going to sneak into the playoffs there?
I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of these teams, and frankly, I think 9-7 is going to get you in the playoffs in the AFC. A team I'm looking at is the Miami Dolphins. They're quietly putting together a decent season. They're 3-3, and look at their schedule. They got 2 games against New England, 1 game against San Francisco. The rest are winnable. So I think they keep games close. They can make the playoffs, believe it or not. They were so bad last year.
Interesting you say that. They play the Jets this week.
They do.
I think the Jets are my surprise team in the AFC.
They're looking
better.
better.
Their schedule is pretty soft coming up. They play
right.
2 NFC West teams, very winnable. They play Jacksonville still left on the schedule. That's very winnable.
Right.
I like the Jets. So maybe the Miami Jets.
Maybe it'll all hinge on this Sunday. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Meanwhile, my fantasy team, my fantasy quarterback Cam Newton.
Mine too. Awful.
Struggling.
He reminds me a lot of Matt Stafford. You look at those 2 quarterbacks, they're both like maybe first round, second round picks this year, and they're both really not performing the way they did last year. Frankly, I think there's a lot better options. Like guys like Carson Palmer and Andrew Luck are often undrafted on waivers. They might be better than these guys.
So is it time to give up on Cam Newton?
I wouldn't quite give up. I think both those guys are trying to do too much. I think they're trying to, win the game single-handedly, and I just don't know that's possible. Maybe they got to sort of take what the defense is giving them and, play a little more in their realm of possibility.
Right. Cam is still getting some rushing yards, though, so that's pretty good for fantasy purposes.
That's good.
This week, there's a few teams on a bye week. There's Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Houston. A lot of good defenses there.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of defenses on waivers this week that have good matchups. For instance, the Raiders, they haven't been helping anyone. They're probably the worst defense in the league, but they're playing the Chiefs, and they're playing Brady Quinn. That's a defense you might want to sneaky start this week.
Another defense is San Diego. They're playing Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Jacksonville's a terrible
I actually
offense.
added them.
Yeah. And at running back, too, Arian Foster's on the bench this week.
Yeah, there's some running backs out there. Maurice Jones-Drew got hurt, so Rashard Jennings, he's probably gone already, but if he's there, obviously take him. Jonathan Dwyer last week for Pittsburgh did very well. Mendenhall's still a little banged up, so there's some plays there, too.
And plus, Felix Jones is starting for Dallas, but he got a little banged up last week.
Philip Tanner might be out there. He could be the starter.
There you go. And, Geoff, you and I do a podcast every week, The Sports Retort, where we pick an upset of the week. What are you looking at this week?
I'm going to take the Saints. Quietly, they're putting together a little win streak. I don't think the season's over. I think the dream of the Super Bowl in New Orleans is still alive. I know they're playing Denver, who's a good team. I think they're going to win that division. But NFC is trumping AFC this year, so I'm going with the Saints.
There you go. NFC trumping the AFC. So I'm going with Robert Griffin III. RG3 has been a great story this year. It's been very exciting. Redskins playing at the Steelers. Steelers haven't been the same Pittsburgh team. Right, exactly. So I'm going Washington. So, good luck in Week 8.